Monday night, and we are going to have our normal weekly Q&A. So tonight, this works by you asking any questions that you have in the comments. And between myself or my husband, one of us will make sure that I see your question and can answer it for you. So every week, I try to come with a topic to keep us going, but I am 100% okay with any questions that are on or off topic. Those do not upset me at all. So as we go through, please feel free to just ask away on whatever your questions are, even if they are not what we're talking about at the time. Now, for a topic tonight, I did want to cover just a blanket ways to save more. So in a bit, it's a little bit of a refresher on some topics, but just kind of getting you to think about how to approach cutting your budget from a lot of different angles. That's our goal here, right? Is to save as much money as we possibly can. And that a lot of times looks like little tiny cuts here and there. So we're not talking about look at your budget and miraculously cut $1,000. That doesn't exist for most of us. If there was $1,000 that you could just cut right off, you would have done that already. No, now it is looking at your budget and figuring out how could we make some changes that would have an impact. It's the little goals, and they do add up. They do help out. So first off, in terms of just easy, simple things that you could be doing, the first for me is always meal planning. It's always approaching the grocery store with a plan of exactly what you need to cook meals for this week or what's on sale, and you're planning your meals off of what's in the pantry. But having that plan up front, because what it's really going to save you on, yes, it does help your grocery bill in the grocery store. It does. But secondarily, it is helping you from not eating out. If I've got a plan, then I can handle the crazy nights where everybody's going in different directions, or the unexpected, what felt like the unexpected. All of a sudden, we need to be somewhere and none of us have eaten lunch. It wouldn't have been unexpected if we had sat down and looked at the week ahead from the mindset of meals. Most of us sit down, what is it, Saturday night, Sunday? At some point on our Sunday, my husband always asks me, so what do you have going this week? At some point, whether that is verbal or you are just sitting down and thinking about it yourself, you did think through your week ahead. So this is your moment to do that from a meal standpoint. It does pay off, and it only takes maybe 5 minutes, guys. What do we have going that would impact eating out this week that we could, have a plan going in? So for example, for our family, most Monday nights we have American Heritage Girls. It's like Girl Scouting, Christian Scouting is the way that we should probably say that. So for AHG, we are done at 7:45. Well, we live 30 minutes away and I need to be here at 8:30. So that doesn't really work out to feed people, but it does work out if we have a plan. Sandwiches are packed, picnic dinner in the car on the way home. Could I swing in and do a Chick-fil-A or a McDonald's? Yeah, we would have time for that too. But could I afford to do that every single week? No, and not for 7 people. So that's just one little area for us that we do try to always have a plan. And again, applying that to every other day throughout the week so that we know what we're doing for all of those meals. So keeping you from overbuying in the store, keeping you from eating out as well. And another big one along that same lines that keeps you from eating out, for those of you who are back to work in the office, that is planning to cook extra. Always planning to cook extra. If I'm taking the time to make dinner, going ahead and having a plan to intentionally make leftovers is going to save you money when it comes to lunch all week. It doesn't mean you have to eat it for lunch tomorrow. It could be lunch 2 days from now. You can spread these meals out, but having extras so that you do not have to eat out for lunch is a huge impact on your overall budget. Now, I'm not trying to take away all the fun and say you can never eat out, but let's just say you tried to limit yourself. You know what? We're going to eat one meal out a week. One. That would be hard without a plan. If your family is like mine and you're at gymnastics or you're here or here, you will very quickly find that eating out is the easy option, the quick option, and you're going to end up kind of craving it. But if we have the plan, if we stay away from it, if we don't use up our eating outs for lunch every single week, that's going to be a really big impact. So cooking extra, having a meal plan. I promise we won't stick on meals. I won't even harp on it beyond this. But those are the first easy ways to make an impact. Just all automatically not eating out for every meal. Now, I'm a huge fan of eating out. I'm not opposed to it, I promise. It's just that the cost per serving significantly less when you can cook that meal at home versus when you eat that meal out. So just to hit that across. So one more area on meals, not related to planning and not eating out, but I do want to encourage you when it comes to the meals that you cook, that you think about meals that are cheaper, or even cuts of meat that are cheaper, to still give you the same amazing meal that you wanted, but for less price. And perfectly planned. It really wasn't intentional on this one. But for us, that was an example tonight is actually what we just finished eating for dinner. And that is, instead of serving steak to 7 people, serving London broil. That is still like steak, can still cook it on the grill, but you're slicing it thinly. That large London broil, we're getting 2 meals out of that easy, if not 3, based on the amount of leftovers from tonight. Putting it along with some sides, that one London broil costs $10 on sale this week versus steaks would take, for our 7 people, I can kind of stretch it with the kids to be about 3 medium-sized steaks, but I can't buy 3 medium-sized steaks and still only spend $10. So $10 for a large London broil, getting 3 meals out of that for 7 people. Pretty awesome. Maybe 2.5, it depends. But definitely 2. I have no question about that. So thinking about your cuts of meat, not doing steak necessarily, doing London broil, not doing chicken breasts necessarily, doing chicken thighs or chicken legs. There's always a cheaper cut of meat. There's always a way to approach this or approach meals that are less expensive than everybody got a beautiful filet mignon, right? No, that's just not on the meal plan when you are trying to keep your budget tight. This can also be where casseroles come in as you're thinking about meals. Casseroles are great for cooking ahead, freezing ahead, having some easy meals to pull from, but they're also really great because meat is almost like a side item. It's like you took everything that you would put on a plate, but you threw it all together, and I don't have to give you as big of a cut. That's ultimately where it is. So if we're looking at, I'm going to serve chicken breasts and everybody's going to get an individual chicken breast, this is going to become really, really pricey really fast. So as I just said, for the 7 of us, if we were to do steak, which we didn't, but if we were to do steak, I would probably get away with 3 medium steaks. It's because I do not serve all of our children a steak. I cut it up. I slice it up even thinly for them on that one as well and give them bits of steak. Now, I don't want you to take me wrong on that. It's not that I, don't trust my 17-year-olds to cut their own steak or anything. It's just a way to serve meat that ends up not really being larger than the portion should be. That's the way I'd rather you look at it. In America, we tend to have some portion size issues, and I'll be the first to tell you I definitely have some portion size issues. All things we need to work on. But if we are no longer serving our meat as the entire chunk is your portion, we're getting back to correct portion sizes on meat. and you're saving money at the same time. So just an overall kind of like meat moment there. It is the most expensive part of putting dinner on the table. So if you're being smart and you're choosing cheaper cuts of meat and you're thinking about how you serve that meat, you are stretching your meat budget significantly by both of those options. Obviously, having meatless dinners is going to help too, but that's not always going to make everybody happy. That is not my husband. He doesn't necessarily want like, oh, this week we're not going to eat any meat. Wouldn't cut it here, mostly because he would feel like it didn't fill him up. So for you, if you wanted to go that route, meatless dinners, just make sure that it's something everyone in the house is okay with, or maybe adding in an occasional, hey, we're going to have ham and bean soup, where now the meat is definitely not the main course. It's just a piece of the soup. So think about those meals that do have meat in them, just again, not this massive chunk of meat per person. It's lowering that overall cost. And there's a lot of great ways that you can do that without feeling like you gave something up to do that. Okay. So let me jump back to some of these questions here. So Christina, I'm a beginner cook. Any recipes for easy 30-minute kid-friendly meals? Wow, there's a ton of them. I think the first question really is things that you enjoy cooking, and I guess really that your kids enjoy eating. Our kids are great with veggies because they've always been on their plates and they've not really ever thought to not be okay with them. When we first started cooking meals for them, I will say I loved Rachel Ray 30-minute dinner cookbook. So looking for some of those and just getting some ideas. But really the easiest way to start, Christina, is to decide, what do I know how to cook? And then what could we branch out from there? So having that easy spaghetti on your meal plan. Another simple one is taking mac and cheese and just adding hamburger to it. Cook the hamburger first, then add the ground beef into the mac and cheese. Super, super simple. It's basically like cheeseburger mac. Betty Crocker makes it as a box mix, but it honestly tastes better if you just do box mac and cheese, add in the hamburger. Don't tell Betty Crocker I said that. But ideas like that. So you're kind of taking a little tiny step into making it a different meal than obviously the box mac and cheese, branching your kids out to that, adding in some different veggies as you go. Around here, we don't do a lot that is recipe necessarily. We tend to do a meat, a veggie, a starch. So tonight, my husband grilled or broiled, should I say, our London broil, baked potatoes, and green beans. That was all him. I just told him what the meat was, but that's our normal routine. So meat is really the part that's planned, and then sides or whatever we kind of think of based on what we have on hand. So again, not always a recipe on that, just kind of making it work with what we have. Other go-tos around here, spaghetti. We love tortellini Alfredo, which is really simple because you're just going to buy the tortellini. It's BOGO right now at Publix in the freezer section. So kind of taking those things that are on sale and saying, what could I make with these? But if you want actual recipe books, I would start with Rachel Ray's 30-minute dinners. They're kind of old. I don't think she's published any books in the recent future, or recent, what is that? Recently. She hasn't published any books recently. There we go. My words are failing me today. So you may even be able to find them through your library, through Hoopla or Overdrive. If you use either of those apps, they are two favorites in this household for getting access to free ebooks. And just thumb through those and see what you think as ways to get started. Oh, and Karen, Brand Cycle is really just a company that we work with. So the deals themselves take you, when you click through the link, to various Carters, wherever you might end up. It's just a company that we work with to help us post links to social media. Okay. Oh, yes. Wendy, taco soup is a huge favorite around here. Wendy says taco soup can help stretch meat. And that's another one, Christina, as you talk about kid-friendly meals, taco soup is one where if I said that was what's for dinner, every person in the house would cheer, and it definitely can stretch some meat. So thanks for that recommendation there, Wendy. Carl says, I like cooking a big pot of chili and eating on it for 2 days, freezing the other half as a quick, easy meal. That is another one here as well. We have a very large container of leftover chili in the fridge that my husband made on Saturday. I'm making him sound like an amazing cook. He's been doing a lot of cooking here in the last couple of weeks. He is an amazing cook, though. Looking forward to summer veggies from the garden, Lynn. We are too. I was just asking my husband, could we work on getting that plowed under and ready? Every year, I have a very large goal of having a garden. And last year, the deer ate all of it. So if anyone has an amazing tip or two to keep deer out of your garden, believe me, we've tried almost everything, but last year they won. So I could really use some advice on that one from y'all versus me always sharing. I need y'all to share back to me so that I can have a summer garden this year. And Christina, yes, those free ebooks are huge. So those 2 apps, again, in case you missed it, because I said them quickly, Hoopla and Overdrive or Libby, they're the same company. So whichever app you choose, they both do the same thing. You'll use your library card to create an account on Hoopla or Overdrive and then have a blast checking out all the free digital books, audiobooks that you want to check out from those. Okay, to keep going, and Lynn, I don't know if we've tried an electric fence, but here I think our deer should sign up for the Olympics because we have done like taller than me, wildlife netting from Tractor Supply, and they go right over it. So I don't know how huge that electric fence would have to be. But I think, Sue, I think we're going to have to go to like twice my height wildlife netting for next year or this year. I don't know that we can even do it. Okay, let's keep moving on. Some other ways that you can make a quick impact on your budget. Hands down, one of those is mobile apps. So I always try to tell you guys this, and a lot of you are already using them, but if you are not, if you're on the fence, you're like, I don't really want to do that. They really do have an impact. Ibotta, Fetch, those are the 2 easiest to pick up. We're not going to turn this into a mobile apps Q&A. We do that all the time, so you can just find one of those old ones if you're brand new to those. But the gist is that you're going to go into the store, you're going to buy items that are listed in the app, and you're going to immediately get money back from purchasing those items. They're very easy to use. Ibotta in particular, hundreds and hundreds of offers. And with these, you can directly link them to your store card or store account. So for example, my Target, I can have that already done and linked. I can have Target's now saying submit receipt. It used to be linked. CVS, I can come in and at the top, I can link my account. So you can go through, I can shop in CVS. All I need to do is just activate the offers that I would like to redeem. When I purchase them, CVS is going to tell them that I purchased it and I am going to get that money back. Super, super simple. I'm not with these mobile apps getting this money back at the register. It's really like a mail-in rebate, but I just didn't have to do any work. I just get the money back after the fact. Then when I have money saved up in my account, I can get it out. So you'll see your little total up there. When you have $20 saved up, you can cash out. I have $4.35 right now because I just cashed out about a month ago, or I guess not, more like 2 weeks ago. And I did not go grocery shopping very much in the last few weeks either. So how you're going to do this again, tons of stores in here. You go through, you find the offers that you want to use, like, Old El Paso, that's buy one, get one right now in Publix. So you load the offer, and then when I buy these, and you can see that limit 5 right there. So when I buy the offer, I'm going to come home, I'm going to submit my Publix receipt to Ibotta, and I'm going to get 50 cents back for every single one of the Old El Paso products that I purchased. And this actually includes a lot of them. So it's good for tortillas, shells, kits, sauces, and beans. Those are all buy one, get one. So you can just go down the list and get 50 cents back for whatever you ended up purchasing. You take a picture of your Publix receipt, it's done. If you had a coupon, you could also use that in the store. Most of these products, we don't have other coupons for them anymore. So this is your coupon and what you would want to use. So it makes it pretty easy for you that way. But super simple. So to not miss out on these offers, it is extra money literally right back in your pocket. When you cash out, you can cash out and send this to PayPal, to your bank even. You can get it out in gift cards. You have a lot of ways to just immediately get this money back. I usually choose the PayPal option, and then I can turn around and use that for any online purchasing, or if it was a lot, transfer from PayPal to the bank. Yes, you could connect your bank. We just tend to be a little bit more hesitant here in actually giving out our actual bank account numbers. It's just a security thing when it comes to online things. So PayPal makes that a lot safer for you by acting as that middleman with no fees. So if you don't have PayPal, I would encourage it just for that. Okay, so Len, what happens if you link your account to a store and the offer shows up in Ibotta a few days after purchasing? Frustratingly enough, Len, if I went to the store today, I bought it today, my account's linked with CVS or my account is linked with Publix, I've probably missed that moment of being able to get the offer. Technically for Ibotta, you needed to have loaded the offer before you bought it. So in their boat, it shouldn't come through at all. However, if your account was not linked, meaning now if I went to CVS, my CVS account is not currently linked. They opened it up a couple months ago, but I've just stayed old school. If I bought the item in CVS yesterday when I was in the store and then an offer came up tomorrow, I could technically still load the offer and submit yesterday's receipt and I would be just fine. It's just not going to work if your account is linked. So it is a negative to having your account already linked to do that. Now, there are tons of pros to linking your account though, because you don't have to think about it. You don't have to remember to upload your receipt. You just have to remember to save the offers. So if you feel like you're going to win out and do better, I would say go ahead and link your account. The other pro there is that if an offer does pop in tomorrow, I shopped on Sunday and bought it, there's a chance that it's going to hang around and you could just buy it again and have that offer end up giving you the money back. Obviously in the drugstores, if you've already met your limit on that CVS deal, it wouldn't work this week, but there's a chance it could maybe work for a deal next week, or it may work as a deal in a different drugstore. So I know one a couple weeks ago was a $2 off Oral-B toothbrush that popped into Ibotta. Maybe you did miss it on a deal that you purchased in CVS, but it would still make a crazy good deal in Walgreens. So that could be an option too. Like maybe you missed it on the CVS purchase, but you could still grab it in the Walgreens deals for that particular week and still get the offer back. I don't know if that helps or not, but it's a few options for you anyway. And then another question there. With Fetch, is it possible to redeem for a physical gift card to be able to gift someone? I have not ever seen that in their rewards options. I think pretty much all of those Fetch rewards are only for actual e-gift cards. I will look, but I don't know where you would find... Like for me, the only thing as I even look through these are all just digital gift cards. And that's really who they use to redeem all of their rewards. I will warn you with Fetch, most of their rewards do take a good 72 hours now from the time that you click it till the time that the reward does show up in your account. So just be ready if you are planning to use a reward on a date night or something else like that, that you think ahead. That was actually us. We had planned to use a reward last week, and I loaded it like 2 hours before we got to the grocery store, but no, It was wishful thinking. So now we get to go back to Chili's. Not, it's an easy restaurant to pop into another time. Kathy, do the gift cards expire? They do not. So any gift cards that you redeem will just hang in your account under My Rewards. So they're always there if you're in Fetch. They're not going to expire and they're not going to lose value. That is actually a law that was passed sometime in the last 10 years that store gift cards cannot lose value over time. So there we go. You're good. No matter how you get that gift card, it will stay the same value and it will not expire. Now, the Visa MasterCards do not have to follow that law. So these are just the actual store gift cards. You should be good. Sue, how do you redeem the reward if you do not use it all at once? So what you can do, it will still stay in your account. So if you come in here and you say, hey, I want a gift card, but I don't use all that gift card at one time, the gift card itself is still there. It's just like a digital gift card. So for us, what I've done is either write the gift card down. You can still view it ages and ages later too. So if you are, hey, we used some of this gift card the last time we came into the store, or maybe you chose like a CVS gift card and you got a $10 CVS gift card. You used 4 of it, but you didn't use the rest. The store themselves can actually tell you how much is left on the gift card, but many of the restaurants, so Chili's, etc., they have a way on their website for you to just enter the gift card and to tell you how much is left on that gift card as well. So if you're ever looking through your Ibotta or your Fetch account at previous rewards and you're pondering, like, did we use this? Did we not use this? I don't know. Then quickly just pull up Chili's website, and you'll see gift card balance check. You can figure out what is left, whether or not you used all of it. In the store, what I would do, and we've done this a lot, I will grab in my purse just a receipt. That's usually what you have hanging around your purse. I will write the gift card number on the receipt, and I will usually tell our waitress, hey, I'm giving you a gift card number. This is the PIN for it, like everything they need to run it. And this gift card, strangely enough, it's got $9.57 on it. Then use this. So give them 2 forms of payment. You're going to give them the written out gift card. Then you're going to give them whatever you plan on paying the rest of your meal, because I doubt you're getting out of Chili's for $9.57. But you get the idea. They're very used to it. They can run that piece of a gift card first and then run your credit card or a different gift card second. I can't tell you how many times we have done that, just with folks giving us gift cards as well. So that is my go-to if folks are ever like, what do you want for your birthday or Christmas? Like, hey, gift cards for date night or gas gift cards, those pieces of things, you can still always use them. So don't be afraid to finish off a gift card, even if it's down to the penny. It just helps you by knowing what they are. So what I will do is get out a Sharpie marker. And if it's an actual gift card, like if I'm using a gas station gift card, write on the gift card how much is left when you leave the gas station. Now, in today's world, nothing is left when you leave the gas station. But a few years ago, you got a $50 gas station gift card at Publix with the gas gift card deal. I could fill up and have $15 still left on that $50 gift card. This way I know how much it is. So when I come back to the gas station, I have a general idea how much gas that gift card is going to get me. Is a much easier way to use your gift cards. Okay. And Karen, yes. So Karen is saying with Fetch, you could print out the gift card. And I do agree there. You're going to end up with something like this that is basically, they've iframed in like the Texas Roadhouse page. You could screenshot this. You could easily hold down your finger and say that you want to open this in the web versus meaning outside of this app, and then print that screen if you wanted to as well. Not necessarily having a hard plastic gift card to give to somebody, but you still have something to give them. And I would say a lot of folks are probably used to digital or printed gift cards in today's world, sometimes more than a typical plastic gift card too. Okay. And Karen saying her tip is to tape the receipt to the gift card so you know how much is left. That also works. For me, in gas stations, most of the time the receipt thing doesn't even print, so my little Sharpie marker becomes my friend. Okay, so to keep moving, mobile apps are big. If you're, again, trying to decide what mobile apps to start with, Fetch and Ibotta are the two that I would recommend starting with. They have the most offers, and they're going to work at every store that you're shopping at. Obviously, using your own store's app as well can be helpful. You can have a lot of digital coupons in your Publix or your Kroger or Harris Teeter apps, whatever grocery store you're in. But this is really above and beyond that grocery store app. Taking advantage of those other free mobile apps is huge. Even down to really and truly everywhere you're going, guys, you should be using a mobile app for it. So an example from my morning, Mondays are our homeschool co-op days. So sitting around with some other moms, and one of the moms is talking about her love for chicken salad chick. I also hold a special love for chicken salad chick, and talking about that she's gotten a little spoiled. That's the only chicken salad that she now loves. And I said, well, you are using their app, right? She didn't even know they had one. Everyone has an app. So use the app. For us, it actually doesn't take long to earn rewards in most of these apps. And when all that took for her to be won over on that one was me opening up mine and showing her, look, I've got enough points for like a free large chicken salad chick take home. Okay, I'll use the app, So that should be kind of how you're applying everything here. I know my first few tips there were not eating out, but if you're gonna do it, you should use the app for it. You should definitely take advantage of any rewards that they're offering and not miss out on those from wherever you are, even chicken salad chick. If you've not ever eaten there, you can at least feel like you're eating healthy or healthy-ish. It's actually really, really yummy. Okay, a few more things. I have a long list tonight. We'll see how far we make it. One way that you can cut the budget is, or really kind of adding to the budget, and that is cleaning out the closets, getting online and selling things, pondering things that you can resell, things that have value. We've done entire Q&As on this one too. Really the easiest thing is to hop online and see what types of things are other people currently selling. Use that as like market research to get an idea from them as to whether or not the things you're considering selling even have a value. Does somebody want these items before I put them up to sell? You may be very pleasantly surprised. But if there are workout equipment that you're not using, electronics you're not using, it never hurts to attempt to get rid of these. Facebook Marketplace, honestly, being one of the easiest, there's no cost to you at all to list these items. It's not like eBay where you have a seller cost to whatever items you post onto the site, along with a cost when they pay you of transaction fees and all of that for their payment. No costs on the Facebook side. So if you put it up there and nobody wants it, nobody wants it. All it took was 5-10 minutes of your time to take some pictures and to type up what you were going to say about it. Now, some people's hesitation is the safety side of that. So just an encouragement for meeting up with any of those transfers. If you are going to sell something, a lot of local police stations, sheriff's departments have a couple spots out front that they've reserved for you to just meet in their parking lot to do that swap. If they don't have a reserved spot, it really doesn't matter. You just say, hey, meet me here. Just give them the address. Turns out it's going to be the local sheriff substation. It's a super safe place to meet to make that swap if that's your concern. So you don't have to worry about it. If you're not concerned, or you're my husband, he at least just sends me, hey, this is where I'm going. So I have the address. I don't know 100% how I feel about that, but he does come home with some fun things. And a lot of times the things he'll find end up costing us nothing. So even better. But it can be a great way to clean out closets and make a little bit of side money doing that through Facebook Marketplace, through eBay, if you wanted to sell online, if you want to just give it away, porch pickups and other options like that, always available too. So, whatever you're willing to dive in there and get rid of, it can be huge. Yes. So let's go back to gift cards for a minute. Carl's chiming in on a tip too. He said last month they knew they were going to spend about $200 at Amazon. So they bought a $200 Amazon gift card at Kroger and got 4 times the fuel points, which is huge. And that's a savings on gas. So not missing those. And along those lines, this isn't Amazon, but there are also gift card deals that run at a number of stores, whether that is CVS Extra Care Box or Walgreens Rewards. CVS has some deals this week on JCPenney's, Wayfair. But even Dollar General, guys. Dollar General's running 15% off gift cards. It's a selection of gift cards this week, but checking those weekly ads so that you don't miss what that particular gift card deal was. Dollar General regularly runs gift card deals in their weekly ads, so just to not forget about other stores that you may not always think of, but I am right there with you. I love fuel points and fuel savings anytime that we can. So I knew the next question would be, what is the Dollar General deal? So this is our Dollar General deal. I'll try to make it as big as I can for us. So this particular week, it is 15% off Children's Place, Subway, IHOP, Xbox, and Zaxby's. That may not make you excited. But if I was already gonna, be going on a road trip, needed some ideas of where we could eat out affordably, then for me, that would be Subway and Zaxby's. I probably wouldn't grab IHOP, but you might. That would be easy things to grab. We just got 15% off of them. Then we head to Zaxby's and we buy the food. Guess what? You can still use the app and still earn free products too. So we can tie everything in together. But we do see regular deals, not just on places to eat, but a lot of other gift card deals between gas savings, Extra Care Box, etc. So not missing any of those. No Chipotle this week, Lynn. And that isn't one that we see often. So I will warn you on that one. Not a brand that regularly runs a lot of gift card deals. That's one that I'd probably grab through Kroger bonus fuel points or Harris Teeter or Lowe's Foods, the other stores that will run those same gas station rewards discounts. Oh, and yes, Lynn, you've now learned how much I love Chicken Salad Chick here. She said, did I buy the Chicken Salad Chick calendar for the $5 donation in December? I did. So if you've not ever shopped there, just wait until next December. This past year, they ran a $5 donation, and then you get a freebie every single month for 2023 in your app. You also get a freebie for your birthday. So if you make sure when you sign up that you give them your birthday, that is currently in my app for a March birthday as well. So taking advantage of all the features of your app for sure. Okay. To keep us moving here. Another one, and since we're talking about saving more, specifically making sure that you save your money is huge. It's one thing to be like, yep, we are not going to eat out. We're going to meal plan. We got all this. And then all of a sudden you look at your bank account and you're like, hey, we're doing sweet. I'm going to buy something. That was not the point. So I do really, really encourage you to automate some savings, to say, hey, we're going to hit the budget, so much so that I'm going to go ahead and move this money out of checking into savings, maybe even out of our local bank and into an online savings account. It is separate. I don't see it and I don't spend it. That is really, really big. The first thing we can do, honestly, in terms of helping us spend less is making ourselves feel broke. Maybe you aren't that broke. Maybe things are kind of swimming right now. But if things are kind of swimming right now, we actually tend to spend more money. We're not as stressed about those little tiny purchases adding up. We need to be not necessarily stressed about money, but we need to feel like saving money is more than just a good idea. It needs to be important. And the best way to do that is getting any extra out of your checking account, out of that normal savings account, to where I actually have to pull up a separate app or a separate bank to see what's in those accounts, because you're going to probably do that a little bit less. and I'm not going to spend it as much. So I do highly, highly recommend online savings accounts, online money market accounts. Same thing, they just have a fancy name. There are some great ones that are paying really great interest right now. So that's one of those sites I've pulled up the last few weeks, I feel like, but my go-to site for looking up interest rates is bankrate.com. Doesn't mean you have to open your account through them, but come in and say, you know what, I want to start saving. And then you can, from this page, tell them what your deposit amount is. Maybe I just want to put in $500, not even 5,000, just $500, and see what it gives me. From that, I can get a SoFi account, for example, with 3.75% and a $0 minimum balance. So I don't need a ton of money, but I also don't need to be in my local bank. Gotta love Wells Fargo right there with the 0.15%, or even better, Bank of America. I don't think Bank of America plans on ever giving you interest, but there are a lot of folks that do. So looking for those online money market accounts, not your local bank. Keep what you need to pay your bills in your local bank. A little bit more just in case something big comes up, so you're not like bouncing checks. I'm not saying like down to the penny here, but I am saying if you've got anything beyond whatever makes you feel comfortable, and that number is different for every single person. So what makes you feel like I'm not stressing at night that I'm going to bounce checks, anything beyond that amount, move it out of your local bank into an online money market. You will spend less money because you will feel a little bit more broke, but you will also earn money with a much better interest rate than your local bank is offering. I can pretty much guarantee you that you're going to beat that rate. I promise. Cheryl, not off topic at all as we talk about interest rates. I-bonds, are they still at 6.89%? They are still at 6.89% through April 30th. So for I-bonds, you're going to go to, if no one knows what we're talking about, this is a big one. So treasurydirect.com is where you're going to purchase those. And actually, now that I say it, I don't think it's treasurydirect.com. I think it's treasurydirect.gov. But you want to head to, there we go. Yes, treasurydirect.gov. Forget that the government gets its own endings here. So Treasury Direct is the only place that you're going to be able to buy an I-bond. You're buying it directly from the U.S. Treasury, and that's our I-bonds right there, 6.89%. So that interest rate, it is set every 6 months. So whenever you buy in, you have that rate for the next 6 months. Right now, you'll have that rate through April 30th. And then May 1st, that rate will be recalculated. That rate is solely based on the current inflation rate, which, by the way, isn't changing, in case you didn't know. So come May 1st, that number is not really going to change. This is a very safe place to put money and make way more than the stock market is currently making. The only thing you need to know about I-bonds, two things really. One, you can only put $10,000 a year in there. I know that you're like, well, I don't have that much money. You can put as little as $25 in there. So don't use that as an excuse to not buy them, but you can only buy as much as $10,000 a year. So if you're like, oh, we're just gonna, sell everything, we're gonna buy I-bonds, don't do that. You can only put $10,000 a year in there. Come January 1st, you could put $10,000 more in there. You can technically get $5,000 more in I-bonds if you choose to get your tax return in I-bonds instead of in cash back to your account, back to your checking account or wherever you have it deposited. If you choose I-bonds for your actual tax return, they will actually send you paper I-bonds. So you can have $10,000 as a direct deposit online, and you can have $5,000 in paper I-bonds a year. This still, again, may not apply to anyone, but just so you know those limits. And the other thing to know about I-bonds is that whatever you do buy, you need to hold for at least a year. But a year at 6.89%, not so hard. There's no fees to purchase these, and if you sell outside of a year, really no loss either on selling outside of the year, but you do want to hold them for at least 12 months, or they won't hurt, you won't be penalized, but you won't earn interest on a chunk of the money if you pull out within that year. So not really where you want to go. But yes, it is still a great rate, and yes, you do still want to purchase. As long as you purchase before April 30th, you're going to earn that 6.89% when it's calculated on April 30th, and then the new rate would take in on May 1st. So a big one. So your other question is, what will it be like at the given rate, say in 5 years? So that rate is readjusted every 6 months based on the inflation rate. I hope and pray that inflation rate goes down in the next 5 years, meaning that eventually this is not going to be where you want to keep your money. But during periods of high inflation, this is where you want to keep your money. So keep it in I-bonds for at least a year. You're probably going to be safe there, making more than local banks for the next year, and then reassess. And since it doesn't change, but every 6 months, you've got, a pretty good chunk of time to make that decision as to when you want to reassess. Hey, do I want to wait out the next 6 months? Do I not? There's not going to be I cashed in on the wrong day. It's not changing daily, just once every 6 months. So it takes a little stress out of you too on when to cash in or make that decision. Okay. Hopefully that answered all your questions on I-bonds. I do recommend that if you've got some extra cash and you're wanting to put it away, it is a very safe place to put it right now. Okay. Let's look at one area that you could easily make some changes on your budget. I hit this one whenever we talk budgets too, but that is recurring costs for like streaming, for music services, for maybe you do the Amazon Kindle Unlimited. All of these things add up. So taking into account what those recurring costs are, I encourage you, sit down and write them all down. Look at your last credit card bill and figure it out. And guys, I will say one thing Amazon-wise, this is where when you choose to do them through Amazon, so all the Amazon channels or the Kindle Unlimited or the Audible, Amazon tax all those in and really only bills you this one amount. So you end up looking at your Amazon account and not realizing that all of these things are in there, or for you not realizing that maybe you signed up for a 7-day free trial and you didn't turn it off in time. This actually got us this month. So one page that I encourage you to head to, and I'll stick this for everybody that is interested, just a good page to check if you regularly are using Amazon to make those subscriptions, is to check out your Amazon subscription management page. And I will share ours with you. I don't think there's any major personal information there. So for us, we have our Amazon Prime membership, which is already killer enough on that page. But then you can tell we have a small love for PBS. It's really that we're trying to finish some series and then get rid of our PBS monthly. But this one down here, I signed up for a 7-day free trial of Showtime so my kids and I could watch a movie or two and then forgot to cancel it. So those hurt, and you do not see them on your charge accounts as showing up as what they are. They just show up as Amazon purchases. And so you're thinking, oh, I just bought something on Amazon. I'm not necessarily analyzing it as this recurring purchase. So checking your memberships and subscriptions on Amazon is a good idea, besides checking your normal ones as well. So you already know if you're subscribed to Netflix or you're paying for Disney Plus, all these maybe annual, maybe monthly, but taking those into account. I encourage you, pick one. Maybe you have to pay annually for some to get a discount, but do them for a year and then turn them off. See if you even miss them. The other option is to look for some deals that are running. So for Verizon folks, I will tell you there is a deal on Verizon right now where if you choose to do subscriptions through Verizon, which is exactly what Amazon's doing, so you'll kind of forget that they're there, so you need to be careful. But right now they are offering, if you choose to do those subscriptions through Verizon, kind of a buy one, get one deal. When you choose one subscription, you are going to get free Netflix for a year with that Verizon offer. So taking advantage of that if you want to, and you'll see that from the Verizon subscription page on Verizon's website. It's a select group of options when you subscribe to one that you get Netflix for free for a year. But that could be a solution for you too. Maybe you love your Netflix and I'm looking for a deal. Well, that's an option. Another option, just like Carl was mentioning earlier on Amazon gift card options and getting Kroger fuel points, Kroger sells Netflix gift cards too. So taking your subscription to Netflix or any of those other sites and actually getting gift cards for them, getting the fuel point savings on that gift card, and then plugging those into your account is at least some way to save if you really love those streaming services. But my biggest encouragement to you would be to limit your options. We don't really need to have access to 17 different ways to watch TV. I think actually if you were to say, you know what, let's try to go a whole month with none of them, you would be amazed at how much free options you have before you that you didn't even realize. So just to look into those. Pluto can be a big one. It's a channel that you basically add to your Roku or to your streaming device with a ton of channels in it. I'm not a huge fan of the commercials, but that is what the mute button is for. But completely free, not having to pay for any of that, and taking a month off from having to pay for all those streaming services can really add up. So that would be a big recommendation in a small way that affects your budget. And you may even find once you turn them all off, hey, you know what? I actually like not watching TV every night too. I feel like last week in our house, the TV rarely came on and it wasn't that bad of a week. It was a pretty good week. And Cheryl says all she has is Hulu at $1.99 a month. That's a pretty good deal. Cheryl, you're doing pretty good in the streaming department. So of all these options, there's a lot of other ways that you can cut from mobile apps to maybe you take a month off from not buying craft supplies, or you take a month off from not getting coffee out. You know where your weaknesses are versus me just giving you blanket ideas. I can't tell you the last time I bought craft supplies. So these are all different tips in a sense for all of us, but I do encourage you to look at your budget and pick 2 areas that you think you could make a change on and try to work on those for 1 month. Just 2 areas. So, hey, we're going to try to eat out once a week or maybe only twice a week. If you eat out a ton, don't go cold turkey right away, but we're going to try to eat out less, or I'm going to stop buying books and we're going to do digital books for a couple of months and see how that goes. That's a sweet friend of ours. He was just explaining, he's like in his 70s, but just explaining like, I counted all my books this weekend. I have over 500 books. And I'm like, Tim, at a general cost of $10 a book, I don't even want to think about buying all of those books. His other excitement was that he took them to Second and Charles to get money back, and they gave him $35 for like 70 books. That also makes me cry. So no buying books for a little bit. Use Hoopla, use Overdrive, use the library if you need actual paper books in your hand. But there could be sections of your budget that you are significantly overspending on. Sitting down and looking at them, picking 2, and just taking a month to see what kind of impact does trying to work on these 2 categories do. If you do it, you stick to it for a month and it really doesn't have an impact, then move on to 2 more. But odds are if you do pick 2 and they do have an impact, by the end of the month, you're going to realize, I kind of don't miss it that month or that much. And so next month I can add on maybe another one, keep those other 2 going, or rotate through them so that you don't feel like you have forever given something up. This is like, the no sugar diet, and all of a sudden you decide to eat a whole cake because you haven't had any in 2 months. Let's not do that. But rotating through the things that you're trying to cut on can still help the budget without you feeling like life has lost all of its joy. We don't want to get to that point. So finding things that kind of work, but work for even a limited time is still a help. It is still doing something. So making those small changes where you can is a big one. Didn't mean to stick your question up there for you, but Lynn says, it drives my husband crazy when we have to swing by Harris Teeter to get a restaurant gift card before heading out to the restaurant to eat. Well, for you, Lynn, maybe it's I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple gift cards and have them kind of in my back pocket in a sense. Sometimes that's actually how we plan where we're going to eat out, is where do we currently have a gift card for? So maybe for you, it's a saving your husband that step, if that step drives him crazy, and knowing, for us, we tend to rotate through like 3 different options. Maybe for you, it's keeping a gift card to one of those 3 different options or a couple of those options. They're not going to go bad. They're not going to expire. They're not going to lose value. And then you don't have to make the extra special trip that drives him crazy. You've already got the gift card. He should view it as more time with you, right? It's quality time. Driving to Harris Teeter, I can't tell you how many date nights we end up in a store or intentionally end up in Goodwill. That's our go-to for date night. So if you ever see my husband and I around town in Goodwill, just know it's date night. We're having quality time together. Okay, guys. And thanks for that reminder. Carl says, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. It does help every time you tell the powers that be that you like a video. It always helps that video out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hop off for tonight. We hit a lot of fun things and a lot of good ways to save money. We've done a lot of other posts too, so if you look for those, just quick tips to save money, you will find even more things. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I've been pondering all day whether or not I could handle a drugstore video tomorrow, and I don't really see that working in my day tomorrow. So we are not going to do a drugstore video tomorrow. I have, however, taken all the pictures. I've already got those lists updated. So all of the unadvertised deals are already in the CVS and in the Walgreens ads for this week. So you can look over them and find any of those deals, all those top things. Definitely, if you click on that $1 or less tab on both of those lists on Southern Savers and see what those top deals would be. It's just one of those weeks here. So I am not going to have time, but hopefully those lists will still be helpful to you. And we'll be back next week with drugstore videos. Just is how life works. So one other plug before I hop off. If you happen to be in the North Atlanta area, I am doing a workshop in person. I haven't done one of those in what feels like 2 years. A workshop in person near Gainesville, Georgia, Saturday morning. So if you head over to our Facebook page and you click on events, I think I even have it pinned at the top, you will find all the details there. It is just in a church near the Gainesville, Georgia area. And I think it starts at 9:30 Saturday morning. So I would love to have you join me if you are out and about or in that general area, or if you know someone that is really needing to get started on saving money, tell them to join us. So hopefully I will see some of you there. And if not, I will see you guys next Monday night at our weekly Q&A. So thanks for hanging with me tonight. If you've got any questions between now and next week, feel free to always send me an email, jenny@southernsavers.com, or a Facebook message. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you again soon.